I may have just conned a con artist inadvertently. So I got on a dating website. I haven't been very active on it. Today is Sunday. Last Monday, started talking to a guy. Very quickly takes it to text. We're texting back and forth. He's real personable, real charming, real sweet. Asks me about my debt, specifically credit card debt. I tell him I have a bit. And on Wednesday, he calls me, tells me that he wants to make my life easier, just feels bad that I'm stressed, would like to make a payment to my credit card. Kind of weird? Sure, but I'm not going to say no. I'm not going to say no if someone tries to give me money. So he sends me bank account information. I add it to my app and I make a payment from the bank account. I'm thinking there's no way this is going to clear. It was like $7,100. It clears the next day. Insane. I still don't know what to think, but great. I mean, I'm not mad about it. So yesterday he calls me and says, I want to make another payment to your credit card. Kind of weird, but again, not going to say no if someone tries to give me money. So he tells me, do you still have my bank account information? Make a $2,500 payment to your credit card. So I do. A little while later, he calls me again and says, I didn't mean to say $2,500. I meant to say $1,500. Can you Venmo me $1,000? At this point, I'm like, okay, Tinder swindler. I know what's happening right now, but I don't tell him that because now I'm like, I need to get as much information from this guy that I possibly can. So I'm like, yeah, of course. Like, send me the Venmo information. He sends it to me. I'm like, how's your day? Like, how's everything going? Meanwhile, I'm on my phone. He's never had access to my phone, but I'm changing all of my passwords because I'm like, I don't know. Can you hack someone's phone just from talking to someone? I don't know. Changing all my passwords. He's like, did you send the 1,000? I'm like, yeah, did you not get it? I didn't send it. He's like, no, I didn't get it. I'm like, oh, that's so weird. I sent it. I don't know why it didn't work. He's like, can you send me a screenshot? I'm like, yeah, sure. Let me go back in there. So I pretend I'm like going back in my Venmo and I'm like, oh, weird. It like logged me out. I don't know what's happening. And then I start kind of freaking out and I'm like, oh my God, I'm locked out of my Venmo account. I don't know what's going on right now. Like, what just happened? Like, oh my God, I'm freaking out. He's like, calm down. It's totally fine. I'm sure it's just like a glitch or something. Like, it's not a problem. And I'm like, well, this has never happened. It happened right after I sent money to an account that I don't know. And he's like, well, I promise it wasn't me. So I'm like, well, I'm going to call Venmo and see what's going on. He's like, don't do that. Don't call. It's fine. Like, let's just try again in like an hour. I'm like, okay, that's fine. So I'm like, okay, well, have a good day. I got some stuff to do. I'll call you back in like an hour. So I call Venmo. I tell them what just happened. I report the account. They're like, thank you so much. I try to call the bank where he sent me his bank account information from. It's a bank in Texas. They're not open on the weekend. I can't find any contact info. I can't talk to anybody until tomorrow. Tomorrow's Monday. Then I call my credit card, explain the whole thing. I was on the phone with them for like an hour and a half, just explaining what's going on, telling them like, I'm sure at some point these payments are going to reverse. Like, this is a con. I'm in the middle of a con right now. And I want to make sure that everyone knows I'm not involved in this. So like at some point these payments are going to be reversed, right? The chick tells me, well, yes and no. No, like you can't reverse a payment. The payment that was made earlier in the week, that's already cleared. Like, that's done. Reversing that would require opening a fraud investigation. So unless this dude like stole someone's identity and is using someone's account, like it's done. She's like, we've heard this a lot. She's like, more than likely that account that you made the payment from, it's probably closed. The number that you were talking to him on, burner phone's probably already done. She's like, usually in these situations, they've moved on. Like, they know they're not gonna get money from you, so they've moved on. I have no idea what's about to, like, did I just get money from a con artist? Did he steal some old lady's identity and I just like cleared out some old lady's checking account? Obviously I would return the money if that's the case. So I called the bank this morning in Texas and gave them the account information, and it's not a valid account. Straight up, it's just a bogus account number. So there is no one else involved. I didn't drain someone's account. It's just a bogus account number that will not go anywhere. I called my credit card company back. They said that the payments will eventually reverse, but it could take like 7 to 10 business days. Like, if I made a payment from my own bank account and there wasn't enough money, it would get returned pretty quickly. They said it takes the bank a little while to verify the account information, so it's giving catch me if you can vibes. Yeah, it's a pretty simple scam. I unfortunately don't even have anyone to report this to because I didn't lose any money. So technically speaking, I can't report a crime because nothing actually happened.
First of all, you've been talking for a matter of what, hours, days, and they ask about your credit card debt, and that's not a red flag. No, you should say no. You should say no, because no one does anything for free. I mean, call me a Karen if that's the way she sees it, but I don't know. I probably wouldn't have given my information out to start with. No one's ever going to give you money for free. I mean, I get it. She probably thought, yeah, he's a nice guy. But someone's asked, did you get to keep the $2,500? She said, I didn't. Both payments were reversed. It was all fake. It just seems like so much hassle for absolutely no gain. I love this. I love that she's immediately turning her, what could have been quite a bad story, into awareness for other women. Well, not just women, but anyone who's been like targeted online, on social media, on dating apps. I think that's really good that she's doing that. I mean, thank God she didn't lose any money, but I bet, like she said, there's so many people that do, and there's so many people that fall into the trap. Awful, horrible people. The fact that there's actually people out there that can like contact people, lead them into a false sense of security, then try and take their money that obviously at the minute no one's exactly rolling in it, are they? People are struggling at the minute, and there's people who are just willing to go and take people's money. I think it's just disgusting, and fair play to her, because she's now going to try and spread the message and help other women who could potentially be targeted. So fair play to her, and I'm glad that she didn't have any of her money taken, but obviously just an annoying and unnecessarily stressful situation.